Hey, what is going on, you lovely people? This is Warren from the Rhapsody Piano Studio, and I want to welcome you to today's live lesson. We're going to be learning Santa Claus is Coming to Town on Easy Piano. You can find links to the sheet music in the cards as well as the description below. I also put links to the tutorial. After you're done with this lesson, you want to test yourself out by heading on over to the tutorial. This is more like the study guide, and the tutorial would be to test yourself out to see if you're really understanding these concepts I'm trying to teach you in these lessons. And you'll also find links to my website and more lessons, and I highly recommend you check out all those links there, okay? Especially checking out the website as well, but do that after the lesson is over, okay? So lots of good stuff for you, free resources and materials available. Okay, before we start, make sure you hit that subscribe button if you haven't done so already, and after you hit that subscribe button, if you want to get notifications when I go live, make sure you hit that bell icon as well. Okay, this is Santa Claus is Coming to Town. I'm going to show you how to practice this. I'm going to play the first section, okay? Alright, so that's the first major section. When you're practicing, you just basically want to split it up into the smallest sections possible, okay? You definitely don't even want to practice it as long as I did right there, because longer sections, you kind of have to build up your concentration to it, and if you don't know how to practice and this is your first introduction, then of course you need to split it up into different sections. So, we're going to go from the beginning to measure 5. That's the first part, okay? Stopping right there, okay? Now we just do the right hand, and if you notice, we do have a swing rhythm in here. Swing is basically, you hear this rhythm. Now you want to be careful not to play it like this, because that is more like a that's like a, alright, I hope this makes sense to you guys. It's a dotted 8th note and a 16th. That's a little bit too short, because when you're doing the swings, they're more like triplets. If you really want to nail that, and then, by the way, I'm doing a scale here. It's also a good way to practice the different rhythms as well, just making a simple scale exercise out of it. You can do it this way, because they have to be evenly divided triplets like that. Anyway, so that's the rhythm I'm using, this swing rhythm that they indicate at the top, okay? Now here's just the right hand going all the way to measure 5. That is it. We're going to try that together, right? Ready, go. Alright, so it's just practicing simply hands separate as well. So first we are picking a small section. We're going to call this small chunking, so the smallest part, and then we're going to build this up into bigger sections. You'll see as we go on in the lesson. And the next thing to do is just to simplify it. Just right hand, left hand, hands together, okay? Now on to the left hand. So in a nutshell, another good way to practice these patterns is whenever you can, here it actually lines up quite nicely. You can make it into these different block chords. Alright, so let me show you them again. This is the basic pattern that we're following. And now we're going to go back to and then play it like it's notated. Alright, here we go, left hand, ready, go. to both hands. Together now, ready, go. And by the way, at this level, you should not be struggling with reading notes. I mean, you don't have to be perfect or fluent at it, but if you can't tell me what notes I'm playing, then you shouldn't be playing this level of music. You can. There are things to help you get up to the level of where you should be at, which is fine, okay? All right, if you need to, you can drop down to one of my easier lessons, especially the beginning ones that I have. And I also have live streams where I deal with how do you learn to read music notes and also learn to play and read sheet music. So make sure you check that one out, okay? All right, this is measures 5 to 8 now. Actually, did we do that? Yes, we did. Okay, this is measures 5 to 9. All right, now we just go to right hand again. Okay, ready, go. Left hand. Okay, try that together. Ready, go. And back to both hands. Okay, ready, go. Okay, so we had one part, we had another part. Now we're just going to simply combine it together. And you just continue the process basically until you have the entire song, okay? So now from the beginning to measure 9. Okay, back to the right hand. Try that together. Ready, go. Okay, and the left hand. Together now, ready, go. Both hands. Together, ready, go. Yeah, so this is the basic process that you follow for pretty much anything that you're practicing. And in my experience so far, it applies at all levels. I use this to this day to even the repertoire I'm working on. And even in my studio, I've tested it at every single level, like some of the beginning students that I have, intermediate, and advanced. It's the same process, okay? All right, if we keep going for measure 9. So we went all the way to measure 17. That's the next page. So you notice it's pretty similar. In fact, it's almost exactly the same. Anytime you have repetitive sections, you can just go ahead and skip them, okay? Some people don't even think about it. It's like, oh, that's the same thing. They just practice it. It's just really no point to it. If you do that, you're wasting your time. And if you don't do that, then you're saving a lot of time. So we're gonna skip this section. However, we will take it from measure 15, which is Santa Claus is coming to town, because town, you see, that's a little bit different. It's a little transition moving us to the next section, leading us into the next section, I should say. So we're gonna take it from measure 15 and we're gonna play the next section, okay? And I'll give you, like I did in the beginning of the lesson, the longer section, then we're gonna go back and break it up again, okay? So we're going to go from measures 15 all the way to 21. And the same thing, right hand. I went a little bit too far. Sorry about that. So stopping at 21, okay? All right. Ready, go. 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3. He sees you. Okay, now left hand. If you look at measure 17, same thing we did at the beginning of this lesson. You can block them out. Because it kind of helps with the jumps, okay? You can even isolate just the pinky and just practice moving the pinky back and forth to these positions, these little jumps, okay? So either one's fine, and then both at the same time. Okay, so here's how it is regularly. Yeah, if you give yourself a variety of different ways to practice I think that's always better in the long run than just sticking to one way the entire time. Okay, here's from measure 15 all the way to 21. Left hand, ready, go. Okay, back to both hands. Ready, go. Let me try. Sorry. Both hands together. Ready, go. Okay, on to the next section. This is measure 21. The same thing. Right hand, left hand, hands together. You can just say hands separate and hands together. Okay, here's the right hand. Okay, ready, go. Listen to the left hand. Together now. Ready, go. Okay, back to both hands. Ready, go. Okay, now it's back to measure 15, putting this section together. Listen to it first, and then we'll go back, and same thing, hands separate and hands together. Now, before we practice this section, we're about to wrap this lesson up in a bit because it's about 2 pages long. Very short song. By the way, the sheet music's from the Simply Piano Christmas collection. So it's a ton of Christmas music if you want to get into that. I mean, Christmas is over, but you can get ready for next year if you want. I guess we can continue it on until New Year's. Anyway, make sure you like this video if you have enjoyed this lesson so far, and if you're learning something from it, and if it's valuable for you. Would definitely appreciate a like. And after this lesson is over, make sure you share this video with someone who would love to, you know, play this on piano, because sharing is caring. Okay, measures 15. And then you basically, you just practice this process until you have the entire song. So that's also why you don't have to practice those repeated sections, because when you play the whole song, you kind of practice them like twice, 3 times anyway, whenever they come up. All right, back to just right hand. Okay, try it together. Ready, go. Okay, now the left hand. Together now, ready, go. And back to both hands. Okay, together, ready, go. All right, moving on to the last part. That's a little ending there, so guess where to practice it from? We're gonna do it from measure 29, because if you do it from 25, it's exactly the same thing. Again, it's kind of pointless to practice those repetitive sections, so we're just gonna practice the ending first. Hey, what is up, Rick? Nice for you to be here, or nice to see you here. Okay, so 29 till the end. Give it a listen first, then right hand, left hand, hands together. Just the right hand. Ready, go. Now the left hand. Okay. Ready, go. Back to both hands. Okay, ready, go. So that's about it for this lesson. Why don't you stick around, I'm going to give you a recap, and I'll give you those exact measure numbers for the sections that if you want to practice them according to this process that I showed you here. Okay, so from the beginning, first major section we have is from beginning to measure 9. Measure 1 to measure 9, you can split that up, measures 1 to 5, then 5 to 9. Okay, next part, which is 9 to 17, you can skip most of this section and just practice only from 15 to 17, because that's a little transition leading into it. Or you can just practice it all the way to the next part. So think of it this way. The next section starts from the pickup to measure 17, and it stops at measure 25. However, 15 to 17 is a short transition, so you can just connect it as one entire section, okay? So I hope you're still with me. From measures 15 to 25, that's the next major section. You can split that in half again. And the only last part you need to practice is from measures 29 to the end, which is the last part. And then basically, when you practice the whole song, you play it in its entirety, you're going to fix all those parts where, like the transitions and the repetitive sections. So, yeah. And the other thing, too, is make sure you're practicing hands separate at all times. It's always a good way to practice. And, yeah, I think that is about it. Okay, so thank you for joining me here today on this last Christmas song of this month, last Christmas song of the year. I'll see you guys in 2020. It's going to be a beautiful year. Thank you so much for watching until the end of this lesson. Don't forget to subscribe. Don't forget to like. Don't forget to share. And also head on over to my piano website to make sure you can check out all the resources that I have online. That's much better organized, I have to say, okay? All right. I'll see you guys next time. Happy practicing.